Welcome students. So now I am here to start a new topic of class 11th related to chapter 2nd, basic terms of accounting. Clear? So in this chapter we already completed up to liability and asset. Clear? So now today we have to start expenses. So what do you mean by expense? So expense is an amount which is incurred or a cost which is paid for generating a revenue is known as expense. Clear? Means any expenses, any payment which are made for the creation of revenue are known as expenses. Clear? Basically this expense means it involves the payments or cost which provide short-term benefits to the business or immediate benefit to the business are known as expense. Clear? So basically expenses are those payments which always provide immediate benefit or present benefit to the business are known as expenses. Clear? So it is an expense and their examples are rent, wages, salary, interest paid, commission paid, all these are the examples of expenses. Clear? Now the next topic which is just related to the expense, the next topic is expenditure. Clear? So what do you mean by expenditure? Basically expenditure is just related to the expense, because in expense we are paying amount, in expenditure also we are paying amount. But there is a slight difference between expense and expenditure. Clear? So what is the expenditure? Expenditure is an amount which is paid for incurring a liability for acquiring assets or production of goods and services are known as expenditure. Means if any amount paid for the production of goods and services or for acquiring assets which provide a future benefit, means it involves payments which provide future benefits, it not provide immediate benefit to the business, so that's why it is an expenditure. So there is a slight difference between expense and expenditure. Expense provide an immediate benefit, immediate use to the business, and expenditure always provide future benefit to the business. Clear? So there is a difference between expense and expenditure. So now come to the expenditure. We all know about the expenditure. So there are basically three types of expenditure. Basically there are three types of expenditure. Clear? So the first is revenue expenditure, second is capital expenditure, and the third is deferred revenue expenditure. Clear? So there are basically three types of expenditure. Clear? So in revenue expenditure, basically revenue always shows a transaction which is used in business for a short period of time or for within 12 months are known as revenue transaction. So if any expenditure, any payment made for the short-term benefit or a payment which provide a benefit within 12 months are known as revenue expenditure. Clear? So basically revenue expenditure is an expenditure or payment which is related to the short-term benefits which provide less than 12-month benefits to the business are known as revenue expenditure. Clear? So basically this expenditure is helpful in creating goods and services. Basically this expenditure is related to the production of goods and services. Clear? So that's why it will be known as revenue expenditure. Clear? So now come to the next. The next is capital expenditure. So what do you mean by capital expenditure? Capital expenditure means an expenditure which is made for long-term benefit. means a payment made for long-term benefit to the business for the business are known as capital expenditure. If a business purchased fixed assets, building, machinery, plant, all these are the expenditure which is related to the long-term benefits. Means these expenditures always provide long-term benefit to the business. So that's why it is known as capital nature expenditure or capital expenditure. We can easily bifurcate revenue and capital. Revenue means anything which provides short-term benefit, means below 12 months, and capital nature means anything which provides long-term benefit. So you can easily bifurcate. Means revenue expenditure means an expenditure or a payment which provides short-term benefit to the business are known as revenue expenditure, and capital expenditure means an expenditure or a payment which are made by the business for the long-term benefit of business are known as capital expenditure. Clear? So is it clear? Now the third is deferred revenue expenditure. So what do you mean by deferred revenue expenditure? So basically deferred revenue expenditure means an expenditure which is in nature of revenue, but it may provide long-term benefit to the business. It's not sure कि it not sure कि ये in future आपको long-term benefit देगा, but it may provide. Clear? So it may or may not. So that's why this type of expenditure always be treated as a fictitious assets. Clear? So example of this assets, this expenditures like advertisement expense, like preliminary expenses. Clear? So what do you mean by advertisement expense? Expense which are made for the advertisement, for the popularity of the goods. So it will never affect immediate, na? It will affect after 1 month, after 2 months, after 6 months. It may be benefited after 1 year. So that's why it will be written off in every year in a short amount or a small amount. Clear? Means an expenditure which are not written off in one single year are known as deferred revenue expenditure. There is also one example, preliminary expense. Preliminary expense means an expenditure which is made for starting a business. Means any expense which are incurred before starting a business. Means it is an expense related to establishment of business. Means before commencement of business, any expense which you are made for the business are known as preliminary expense. So this expense never write off in single year, because if we write off this amount in a single year, then we are not able to earn any amount on that year. So we have to write off a small amount in every year. Clear? So this is a deferred revenue expenditure. Clear? So now the expenditure completed. If you have any doubt related to this topic, so please write on comment box and inform me about your doubts. Clear? So now it's complete. If you like this, please like, share and subscribe. भूलिए मत like करना, share करना, subscribe करना. Clear? Thank you and have a nice day.